Second half about to get started here at Lowell High School. I'm Mark Andrews along with Joel Epstein. And no score between Mount Pleasant Baptist and Jackson Baptist High Schools for the Class D Championship. Joel, what do you expect to see here in the second half? Pretty much a replay of the first. A lot of close marking on Ryan Johnson, Jeremy House. Or do you think these guys are going to be able to bust out here?
Well, that's going to be the question. I think if Jackson Baptist is to score, it will come on a counterattack where Ryan Johnson, number 12, in purple, will be able to bust through and beat everybody with his speed and bank home a goal. He had 35 in the regular season. But we see right now, are the Eagles able to control the ball, and they're getting more opportunities. If they don't finish one of these opportunities, though, this could be a longer afternoon than expected for both these clubs. This could be the last half of soccer in 1996 for one of these teams. For both these teams, one will walk away, and it's unfortunate. One is going to have to lose this game, and one will eventually win it. But you got to congratulate both these clubs because they made it this far, and they're giving us a nice brand of soccer.
Right, they really are. It's been clean for the most, for everything in the first half. Hasn't been real chippy at all. I mean, they tried to be physical in the early part of the first half, but really, for the most part, this has been great soccer.
And you got to give the referee credit, too, because he's keeping control of the game. He's not letting much go past. He's making the calls to keep the game tight. He might loosen things up as the game goes on, but he wanted to establish himself and the consistency. And there goes Jonathan Van Horn again.
Oh, and Feisick with the stop.
Jonathan Van Horn.
And he's going to call Van Horn for sliding coming from behind on that play, even though he got a shot off. The call goes against the Eagles of Mount Pleasant Baptist.
Jackson Baptist in the purple tops, white shorts. Mount Pleasant Baptist in the white tops and the blue shorts.
And a team this big like Mount Pleasant is, with all these 6-footers and physical players, they can wear a team down as the game goes on and make it difficult to compete 1v1 in those battles that you have to play against each other.
Right. And Mount Pleasant playing it out. Feisick comes out and holds on.
I wonder what rank Feisick is.
I don't know. In that Army camouflage there.
I guess if they win this match, he'll be a general.
Yeah, could be. Before the game, he was wearing a ski mask in camouflage as well, but he's not wearing it in the game itself. We thought he might do that.
I don't know if the refs would let him wear a mask. But he had this mask on, and he looked something out of the woods.
Yeah, he really did.
11,
Ben Frederick on the throw-in for Jackson Baptist.
See how tight the game is being called? He put an arm up there to try and get an edge. And
a lot of times it's let go, but
Ref Kreisel really
right on it.
Yeah, he's exactly, Doc. He's right on it and decided, let's keep this game tight now and not give anybody an unfair advantage over the other player. And that's what coaches are looking for in referees, is consistency.
Yep.
As long as they get a consistent call, they know what's coming and it doesn't surprise them.
And Jackson Baptist trying to clear it out. Here's Van Horn once again. And they get a throw-in on the near side.
And this can be danger because players are stiff. If somebody can get their head on this.
He's going for Jeremy House.
Actually, a defender got his head on it. It was a defender who actually got his head on it, and then it was finished. I can't see if that was number 17, I do believe. Jason Viserys. Is that?
Yep, Jason Viserys, number 17. Trevor Reed.
I'm sorry, it was Trevor Reed. You can see the ball's going to skip off of the defender's head right here as he goes up, and it'll be Trevor Reed who's going to knock this ball and beat a defender to it, knock it in the far corner. That's good coaching because he knew to be far post, and that's what they're looking to do, is create any sort of deflection and bank it in. Trevor Reed stands 6'3". He's a junior, and he's the proudest player on that field right now.
And it's 1-0 now in favor of Mount Pleasant Baptist.
And for Reed, he scored 8 regular season goals, and he had 7 assists, so he's no stranger to knocking the ball in the net. And when you see Mount Pleasant play, I saw them play against Roper, Bloomfield Hills Roper. Their goals come from in close. They're looking to penetrate. They're not shooting from a distance. They're going to knock it right inside, and with their speed and strength and size, they're going to penetrate right in front of the goal and score from 3 yards out.
And Trevor Reed, brother Adam Reed, is the goalkeeper for this club. Jackson Baptist having to put some pressure on now.
Now the question becomes, does Jackson Baptist stay with their game plan, or do they start to panic? If they stay with their game plan and are able to work the ball and not just kick it frivolously around, they'll have much more potential. Here's Jeff Fitch, the coach's son. This is quite a delight to be able to have your son play in the state championship game, and that doesn't happen to too many people. And you'd be the coach, and you can see he's going to chip it up here. He's actually going to drive this ball, looking for Ryan Johnson.
And Adam Reed comes out and holds on.
Once again, Mount Pleasant Eagles have not been scored on in state tournament play. Jackson Baptist has been behind only 4 times this year. This will be the 5th time. They were able to come back and win just one of those games. They tied one, and they lost 2 of them. There's a beautiful cross.
Oh, nice chance for Ryan Johnson, and cleared out. Down for Jeremy House. He may have a break.
Aaron Schaffner with a beautiful cross out of the right corner. That was danger. But, that's what Mount Pleasant likes to see teams do, is take the ball to the outside and cross it.
There's a chance inside, and a shot taken there by number 20, Caleb Seidelecki.
And who set that ball up but Jeremy House.
Jeremy House.
He can pass the ball. He's an excellent sense of the game, and he delivered that ball in a timely fashion. Seidelecki did a nice job of running around the defender.
Yeah.
He didn't get the ball to the corner, and he allowed the goalkeeper to come right out. Feisik didn't have much trouble with it. I mean, he did have some trouble with handling it, but he was in the right position.
Saturday afternoon at 3:30, we'll have the Class B title game in the 1995 MHSAA Boys Soccer Tournament, pitting Flint Powers against Marshall. Stay with us all week as the best in high school soccer action continues here on Pass Sports. Ryan Johnson on it for Jackson Baptist.
As a coach, I'm always nervous with a 1-0 lead. And I don't know how Matt, I'm sure he'd rather be ahead than behind, but he emphasizes defense so much that he feels this is exactly where he wants to be right now. You can see once again, Van Horn to House. Seidelecki winds it up and blasts it over. But that's the combination that's starting to work and be more apparent as the game wears on. And you can bet there's some interested college scouts here.
Yes.
From some of the schools around Michigan and perhaps out of state. A lot of good small college teams throughout Michigan, and I'm sure they're well represented here. I know when I saw the semifinal match at Flint in the Valley, I could see there were some scouts there sizing up some of the talent.
And there's some good ones out here. Espinoza on the ball for Jackson Baptist. And it goes out on the side, so a throw in for Mount Pleasant Baptist. 1-0 is our score. 33-25 left to go here in the second half. And a chance for Mount Pleasant. But clearing it out is Adam Morris. Ryan Johnson on it now. Johnson, a nice ball up for Walls. This is Tim Walls giving chase and going back to get it and clearing it out. David Kaufman.
Kaufman, a nice job because Walls looked like he had some notions in mind. He was going to go 1v1. He's a dangerous player. He knows where the back of the net is, and he's also a good assist man. He's a talented player, Tim Walls. I like to watch that guy play.
Here's Van Horn again. Keeping it going, Jeremy House. Tried to get it up. Phil Kaufman couldn't get him. So Kaufman will take the kick. Now he leaves it there for Josh Hook. A chance there.
That was a nice pass. Hook saw that Van Horn was open, just knocked the ball to him. He got the shot off just in time with a lot of pace, not as much direction as perhaps he would like, but he headed towards the corner there.
Jackson Baptist down by a goal.
You can see they're not using the width of the field at all. They're using the middle third of the field.
Yep.
And there are players who are open, and the outside is wide open in this game. There it is.
We've got popcorn and candy.
See, he was moving towards the outside. Frederick dribbled the ball towards the outside. You could see that it was open out there. Espinoza played it to him, square to the outside, and you can see as the game wears on, you'll see there'll be players open in that situation, and that's a good opportunity to knock the ball around, create some more space for yourself, and let players drift through to the middle. When you get to the outside, it opens up the middle, gives you more opportunity for passing the ball into the open space towards the goal.
Losey clears it out. We're at Lowell High School in Lowell, Michigan, site of the Class D Soccer Championship and Class B games. One of the nicest high school fields in the state. Lowell about 20 miles east of Grand Rapids.
Espinoza doing a tremendous job of winning the ball in the midfield, getting it to Ryan. Now it's to Walls.
Nice shot. It's scored. Tim Walls, what a shot.
That was a beautiful work by Espinoza. He's been doing it all game long, Doc. He's been doing the work. He's in the cold room. He's the guy in the midfield who's tackling that ball and keeping it going forward. He got it to the target man, who's Ryan, and here's Tim Walls. He knows that the goalkeeper likes to come out. He showed us that earlier. And he chips him. He chips it, and that's a very difficult shot to stop.
1-1 is our score now.
Now we've got war.
Yeah.
Now everything's going to hang out. Now everybody's going to pick up the pace in this game, especially 5 minutes after a team scores. Things can change. The adrenaline, one team could let down, the other team could rise up. Need to be conscious 5 minutes after the game starts, 5 minutes after halftime,
Well,
and
Joel,
5 minutes after a goal.
You said just a minute ago you don't like being up 1-0 just for that reason.
Right.
Just for that change in momentum right here.
That's right. You can see Tim Wall's a very patient player. He has good awareness. He has good eye. He understands the flow of the game as it's being played. And you can tell by that play. And here's another opportunity. And that's it.
Number 12, Joe Conway.
Joe Conway comes right back. A ball misplayed by Feisick, went right underneath him and left for Joe Conway. Left-footed, right underneath Feisick. You could see that he had his hands going from on top as opposed to coming up from the bottom. If you have your hands on top, it's hard to trap a ball down there. But you have to give Mount Pleasant credit. They went right at him, and they got what they wanted, an open opportunity on the left side there. And Conway was smart because he kept the ball low and in the corner. Very hard to defend that because Feisick had to travel from the middle of the goal and trying to get into the corner and get low to that ball, and he couldn't do it.
There's Matt McLaughlin, the Mount Pleasant Baptist coach.
You imagine the emotions going through his head in the last couple of minutes. And I was just saying, you got to be careful 5 minutes after a goal is scored because funny things happen to emotions on the field.
Yeah. And now Jackson Baptist wanting to come back to tie.
Jeff Fitch trying to work his way past three defenders.
Holding call against Mount Pleasant.
And he was being held. You can see Fitch is not he's a very big fella. You can see he's a wide body, and he's got good skill. He's not the fastest player, but he is very skillful. And he's like a coach on the field as well because his dad is the head coach of this ball club.
Ben Frederick to take the kick. Jackson Baptist.
Chinnaberry tried playing the ball back to Espinoza, but he gave it to him about waist high. All Espinoza could do with it was get his paws on it. He really couldn't settle it. It was to the side of him. Chinnaberry had the right idea. He knew he was there. He just couldn't get it down to him.
All the scoring, all three goals coming in the second half. It's 2-1 now, Mount Pleasant Baptist over Jackson Baptist.
So the ref decided not to call advantage because he felt the ball maybe would not get the same advantage in that situation. So he gave the call to Jackson. Look at Johnson sprint across, and the ball is still in play, folks. I think Reed is okay. He got shook up, but he's a wide body as well. And the ref's going to check with him right now. The ref is going to check with Reed to make sure that he's okay. You can see here, the ball comes in, and Johnson's going to come across. He's got tremendous speed. Now watch, the ball will be let loose, and it's going to set right on the line. Big-time collision. Ryan is still standing.
Yep. And Mount Pleasant Baptist clears it all the way down to give Adam Reed a chance to get his bearings back.
There's a quicker step Jackson Baptist is using right now. They've picked up the pace of this game. You can see that they feel they need to pick it up quite a bit. They're down 2-1 at this point. That ball's still in. Oh no, the ball did go out. Of course, in soccer, the ball's going to be all the way over the line. A portion of it won't help. It's going to be all the way over. So we'll have a goal kick here for Mount Pleasant. It'll be Hook trying to blast the ball out. Now, Mount Pleasant is playing with the wind at their back. They play with the wind into their face. Jackson Baptist had it at their back. They couldn't take advantage of it. You can see the ball will travel a little bit farther than it normally does.
Boys soccer kicks off a great year of high school championship coverage on Pass Sports. In December, we'll have live coverage of the 1996 MHSAA Girls Basketball Finals and show you the championship games of the 1996 Football Finals. In March, televised events include the finals of the girls' competitive cheer, ice hockey, Lower Peninsula individual wrestling, Lower Peninsula girls volleyball, and the boys' basketball finals. We wind the package up in June with coverage of the girls' soccer finals.
And look out once again, as there's the Jackson Baptist cheerleader and mascot, Sean Van Horn, or Jonathan Van Horn, is going to take the throw-in. And we know how dangerous this is going to be, can be.
Once again, he puts it right into the box, and it's kicked high and out once again.
Losey did a nice job of clearing the line there. But once again, it's Van Horn and Curry looking to, I mean, if they go up 3-1, it's going to be a very big deficit at this juncture of the game to try and overcome for Jackson.
And he gets the header and a goal!
He called it back because Curry pushed off. He pushed the defender away from him and was able to knock the ball in. Good call by the ref. He was right on it.
He was right on it.
And we could see the push from here. The question was Mark Kreiska going to call it? And he did. He saw it. He was not surprised by the head at all. And here comes the ball. There's the push.
Right
you can
there.
see him. Not only did he push him, but he headed the ball to the goal at the same time. That's good athleticism.
A 2 for 1. And it comes out on the near side.
See a little confusion there on the part of Johnson and Espinoza.
But Ryan Johnson has been almost a non-factor here in the second half.
Well, the game is only a few minutes old. He did put pressure on the keeper the one time where they had that big-time collision. They've had problems getting him the ball. He had to go fetch that ball. He had to go try and create something as opposed to having the ball played to him where he can turn and do his thing or chip it over. He's not been let loose. Once again, Mount Pleasant is concentrating their game on defense. They think defense wins championships and offense wins games.
You just saw referee Mark Kriska now into the Jackson lineup. Number 7, Patrick LaFlamme, back in.
You see how active Johnson is. Look at this. They can't get the ball past him. There's 3 defenders there, and he's taking them all on. But he's had to fight for everything that he's earned. Another big throw coming in from Fitch. But Mount Pleasant able to clear the line. Johnson came from an offsides position, but the ball was not played to him. Therefore, the linesman saw fit not to call an offsides in that situation.
How important is it, do you think, that Mount Pleasant is going into the sun on the high balls? Is that difficult for them?
Yeah, it can be a factor.
They've got the wind going with them, but they're going into the sun, so they win one and lose one on
Yeah,
that.
it can be a factor when you go up at the last second.
There's a chance.
Fitch was shooting that ball, not passing it. Well taken by Jeff Fitch. Smart there. He got it. You could see the ball was knuckling somewhat. There was no spin on it. He got a lot of his foot on it. It's just that he was turned a little bit to the side as opposed to straight on towards the goal.
Number 7 for the Eagles into the lineup.
For Mount Pleasant coming in, Dave Kaufman. And leaving is Chip Coop.
Hook did not get what he wanted on that one. He wants to try and get the ball over the first couple lines of defenders there, but it worked out for him. He had good defense in the midfield. And there's a guy from the Army on the field. Oh, it's the goalkeeper, Feisick.
Lance Feisick.
See, Curry has gone with the hat now. He must have been cold standing on the sidelines. He came out for a few minutes. He returns with the hat.
Here's a nice ball for House. Over for Van Horn. And Feisick goes down and holds on.
And that's the quality that you see in Van Horn that you like to see in good attacking players. He gets his shot off. He'll get his shot off in little space, and he'll get it off right away. And it's hard for a guy who stands 6'3" to do that, but he's able to do that, and that's what makes him a quality player, as well as his big throw, and he's a good defensive player. Besides the fact he intimidates most of the people out there.
Jackson Baptist down 2-1 to Mount Pleasant Baptist for the Class D Championship in boys soccer. 22 minutes, 17 seconds remaining here in the second half. Number 23 coming into the Mount Pleasant lineup is John Crane. And leaving is Joe Conway, who has scored a goal in this game.
Right now, he's got the game-leading goal. And if things don't change, it'll be the game-winning goal.
You know, it's sort of funny. You go into the game thinking that Ryan Johnson and Jeremy House will probably score, and then it's the Tim Walls and the Joe Conways that are getting the goals.
Well, that's what happens, that you're so aware of these big-time goal scorers that the other guys get loose and are good, fine players, and they're able to finish. And the goals have been quality goals. Nothing easy has come. Conway's shot was good. It was hard to defend. But you can see that the Mount Pleasant team is doing a great job in the midfield. They're keeping the Ryan Johnsons and the Tim Walls on Jackson Baptist from getting the ball. If they're able to get the ball, then they can be dangerous.
There's a young fan here. Getting ready for the girls' soccer final in June, when it'll be hopefully a little bit warmer. Once again, here's House. Crosses over. Ooh.
Seidelecki thought, I'm a little twisted around here. I'm not exactly sure where the goal is, but, I'll take a shot because I've got the opportunity. He hit a left footer, but he hit it wide. You could see House, he is built low to the ground. And in that situation, you could see he was able to turn. I don't think many players could do that because he was going at pace. The field is slick, and he was able to pivot and square that ball off. It was a nice play.
And here's a chance. Oh, just over the bar.
The shot was by number 13.
That was House. Jeremy House cranking that one up. You could see he was a little bit, didn't have his chest over the ball, so it rose up. Wasn't able to keep it low to the turf.
Less than 20 minutes to go here in the second half as Jeremy House is on the ball. Now Ryan Johnson gets it. Over for number 3, Aaron Schaffner.
Kaufman did a nice job there of turning and not letting him get past him, and then he knocked the ball up the field. Gives Jackson back the ball, but farther up, and they're going to have to try and penetrate once again. You could see Johnson was a little hesitant to give that ball up. He wants to carry the ball. He hasn't touched the ball. He needs more touches in this game in order to be successful. But he dealt it and wasn't able to get it back.
Shot so far in the second half. Mount Pleasant Baptist 6, Jackson Baptist 4.
And really, there's only 3 shots that have mattered in the second half.
Right.
2 for Mount Pleasant and 1 for Jackson Baptist.
And fouls here in the second half.
And we know Mount Pleasant is a very physical team.
Yes.
And I guarantee you that the fouls will continue to come as the time clock starts to wind down, because they're going to want to hold on to this 1-0 lead. Mm-hmm. And but they'll probably use judicious fouls, nothing near the box. You don't want to give Jeff Fitch too many opportunities to have a whack at goal on a free kick. Here's Johnson with the ball. Beautiful to walls.
And Johnson gets it back.
So Johnson's in an unusual situation here because he's far upfield and he's having to set the play and deal the ball. He's usually the receiver of the ball and able to deal around the 20-yard line or so. Now we're asking him to be the playmaker as opposed to somebody who is receiving and turning and taking the defenders to task near the goal.
Ben Frederick on the throw-in. Pat LaFlamme.
You can see Jason Hook is playing the sweeper. And the Mount Pleasant team, we're talking about using double stoppers. I think they're sticking with one at this point.
Here's a chance for Johnson.
See, the ball gets anywhere near that part of the goal area, and you know Johnson's going to be the guy to get at it. And he came from the left side, was able to capture it, wasn't able to volley it like he would have liked. He needed to get airborne in order to get that one towards the goal.
Goal kick coming out by number 9.
And they're the saves in the second half.
You see all the pressure being played by the Eagles, Mount Pleasant Baptist, putting a lot of pressure on the Jackson Baptist goal.
Nice kick down to midfield.
Well, I'll tell you, Jackson Baptist still hasn't gotten used to how far Hook is kicking the ball.
Yeah.
After the first one, you got to know, I got to stand back here. And the ball keeps sailing over their head. It's not the first half. The wind is at Hook's back now, and it's moving at probably about 10, 15-mile-an-hour clip. It's definitely having an effect on the traveling of that ball. Good pressure there by Jackson. Adam Morris took it in the face, though.
Yeah. Here's a chance.
Fitch with a spinner, and you can tell the goalkeeper looks to be off his line.
Yeah.
And the Jackson players realize this, and they're chipping him. They're trying to knock that ball up over the top.
And I think maybe chipping because of the sun.
Has an effect as well. Makes it hard on Adam Reed in the goal there.
This telecast is a copyrighted production of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Pass Sports. No reproduction of the pictures or accounts of this game may take place without the express written permission of the MHSAA and Pass Sports. There you see one of the fans here.
The Royals fan, I do believe.
Yeah.
And here's an opportunity once again for Van Horn and his ball club. Mount Pleasant Eagles here have another whack at goal. There's Curry and Fysick.
Fysick closes that shot, stopped by the defender.
We've got a
and
call.
Another pushing call.
Yeah, we got a call. The linesman called that, and the ref saw it as well.
Pushing.
Well, they're kind of wise to that now. Good play there by the defender just to knock the ball out easily to try and create possession and have them work the ball up the wing. That was a smart play there by Ben Frederick on the free kick. Here comes a throw-in from Mount Pleasant again, and once again, I didn't see the pushing there, but it might have been on a player. I was watching Curry go up for the ball. It might have been on somebody else. There's Fysick with a big save.
Another stop.
Save by Adam Reed.
There's Matt McLaughlin, the coach of Mount Pleasant Baptist. His team has a 2-1 lead with under 15 minutes to go now in the second half. Ball goes out on the side. So it'll be a Mount Pleasant throw-in.
McLaughlin's philosophy is that I've got 9 players who are playing defense from end line to end line. The goalkeeper is going to stay pretty much put. I've got Jeremy House, who's my top striker. He'll stay pretty much in the offensive end. Everybody else is going to have to defend all the time. And you can see it's working well for them.